Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for Head to Headlines, where you decide the content of the show. We have compiled hundreds of the funniest headlines of the week. We've narrowed down to two to make it easy. And then you decide by texting in headline 1 or headline 2 which story you want to hear us break down. The other story we'll never, ever talk about. It's removed from Google searches. You can never find it again. So really choose wisely on this one what story you want to hear us do. You decide the content. So here they are. Headline number 1. Man sets his own house on fire twice in one night to watch firefighters work. Again, twice in one night.
He's on to something.
Yeah, they're amazing people, those firefighters. To run in a house. I imagine if they came back the second time, what happened? What were their thoughts? Oh, they're back here again.
Well, I think you would get committed to a home after that. Like, hey, this guy's kind of a danger to society.
Possibly. We'll find out in the story what happens if you choose that one. Text headline 1 if you want to hear that story broken down by us, but not before you hear the headline for number 2. Man known to throw canned food around neighborhood arrested after corn goes through window.
What?
Weird.
Do you know what a weird reputation you have to be known as the guy who throws canned food in the neighborhood?
First off, your reputation should be guy known for getting arrested for throwing canned food. I don't because I'd be calling the cops immediately.
I mean, who's that? That's Bob. He's the one that throws canned food in the neighborhood. Oh, yeah, I know Bob.
Thank you.
So there's your headlines. You decide. Again, headline 1, man sets his own house on fire twice in one night to watch firefighters work. Or headline 2, man known to throw canned food around neighborhood arrested after corn goes through window. 312-591-8300. Text in headline 1 or headline 2. You decide the content. Head to headlines. Brian and Kenzie, Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
All right, head to headlines. You decide the content of the show. 312-591-8300 by texting in headline 1 or headline 2. We've given you 2 of the funniest headlines of the week. Let's go over them again before we get the results in. Headline 1 was, man sets his own house on fire twice in one night to watch firefighters work.
Nice.
And headline number 2, man known to throw canned food around neighborhood arrested after corn goes through window.
What a weird thing to be known for.
And I think that's what people thought on headline 2, that he's already known for that, and he did it. And then they arrested him. And I feel like they know the whole story. Now, you're missing the possibility of knowing the backstory and how he got known to throw canned food around the neighborhood. But
Ray, is it like a family tradition?
I do have to note, because I've read the headline, I've seen the physical text of it. 773 was asking if it was corn with a C or if he was throwing the band corn with a K through a window. It is corn with a C. It is the vegetable that the Pilgrims and Indians broke bread over.
Noted. Also, I don't know if that guy could throw the band corn through a window, but I don't know how big he is.
Well, Jonathan Davis, very sturdy guy.
Now, it was from Florida, that story, by the way. I don't know. They're from Bakersfield. I don't think they still live in Bakersfield.
I hope not.
But if it happened there, maybe. It's a stretch still. We're not going to talk about that story ever again. It's getting removed from Google. Push those buttons. It's erased forever because we are going to talk about the one you chose. Man sets his own house on fire twice in one night to watch firefighters work. Let's get into it. A 26-year-old man from the United Kingdom has been convicted after admitting to setting fire to his own house twice in the same night just so he can watch firefighters in action.
Oh, you don't admit it. That's how you get in trouble.
And certainly, I just want to note this, that first off, firefighters, some of the bravest folk out there running into danger when we all run away. And when a house is on fire or something's on fire, I stop to watch firefighters. I think it's fascinating to see these guys that are not afraid of fire.
Do you think you could do it?
Hell no.
Okay.
Are you kidding? Is that a real question, Case?
I know what Brian can and can't do. I was curious to know if Brian knows what he can and can't do.
I wash the dishes every night after Megan does a delicious dinner for us.
Okay.
And our hot water is really hot.
The thing about water is it really gets up there.
But I'm talking about burn level hot. I don't know why, but our hot water, we probably should turn the hot water heater, temperature down a little bit.
I feel like you could control that, actually.
Probably.
Well, that's going to take effort. Case, do you think Brian's going to do it?
This is what I wanted to know.
If I'm afraid if I touch the water heater, it'll break. And I can't have that. So I burned my hand on that last night even. And I was like, ow! And I imagine firefighters going into a building they don't say ow. I never hear these guys going, ow, 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 ow. I never hear that.
That's so true. I've never heard a firefighter say ow.
Heroes.
I just think that, like, when Brian was giving the explanation as why he couldn't be a firefighter and he's talking about washing dishes, I thought he was going to say because even that made him tired. So there's no way you could run through a building and, like, carry somebody because even the equipment weighs, like, 50 pounds. Like, think about how tired Brian gets from talking on the radio.
It's true. I've seen it.
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B.
And column C, not a firefighter.
But, heroes. Acknowledging them right here. So the man was identified as James Brown, which is just funny to me for some reason. The guy that set his house on fire twice to watch firefighters work. He was very captivated by flames. Some people call that a pyromaniac. I used to light things on fire as a kid often. Did you, Kenzie? Ever light anything on fire as a kid?
No, I didn't light a bunch of stuff on fire when I was a kid.
Case?
I know people think I'm mentally unstable, and so it would lead to me saying, oh, yes, I lit tons of stuff on fire. I'm more afraid of fire than anything other than death, though, because fire destroys. Fire's unforgiving. There's no coming back from fire. So, no, I did not, because I was afraid I would light myself on fire.
Correct. You should stay away from
I wasn't
fire.
scared of fire. I just didn't feel like setting my home and other things on fire.
You just go in the woods, or the trees, ants with a magnifying glass, things
Did
like
you
that.
do that?
Yeah.
You lit an ant on fire?
You're evil. You're sick.
Listen, that ant shouldn't have been crawling on my leg. And
You lit it on fire on your leg?
Well, no, I flicked him off, and that's the magnifying glass and burned him.
Yeah, and you lived in a stand-your-ground state, so that was okay. The ant encroached your territory.
Damn right. I'm an American, and I can take this ant out with a magnifying glass. Little did I know at 7 years old, I was a patriot. All right, back to the story. So the unusual series of events, it says in the story as it continues, that his house was the first to receive emergency services after reported sparks from an energy meter burning linen in a cabinet. Firefighters arrived, extinguished it like heroes, the little fire, even turned off the electricity supply for safety to get checked the next day on why that fire started. 90 minutes later, Brown reported another fire that involved bedding. This time, his excuse fell flat because the electricity had been turned off. And this action from him looked suspicious, prompting firefighters to begin their investigation. He was burning all the linen in his
imagined
house.
you were going to say he took a lighter and some Axe body spray onto his house.
Does Axe spray light up, you think? I've never tried that.
Usually an aerosol can of Axe or hairspray that you can use it because it sprays out and you can make a blowtorch.
Yeah.
I don't advise this.
No.
You can create a blowtorch. It is if somebody breaks into your house and you don't have a weapon, grab your hairspray and a lighter.
Yeah. Police concluded then afterward that the fire had been deliberately started and the defendant was arrested and seemed quite happy about his arrest. He seemed fascinated about the presence of the fire and the police at his property.
He thought added bonus, I also get to get arrested.
Yeah.
This guy just likes shiny lights. He likes fire trucks and cop cars.
Yeah.
It's a lighting fetish, not a fire fetish.
Here's the kicker to close out the story. It wasn't long before the truth emerged. Court records later revealed he had called the fire department 80 times in the past year.
I love this man.
Well, they could be putting out
They
real
didn't
fires.
recognize the house when they pulled up.
That's true. Maybe this one's on the firefighters.
I agree. We should blame the firefighters, Brian. Good point.
It's James Brown again.
You didn't recognize that?
Well, I guess the 911 call, it should start for them, but the same address over and over and over again of the fire going there to the poor guy's house. So,
I mean, if it's suggested in your Google Maps when you get your car, then you have, maybe you should think about it.
also, looking for a home myself, I want to know who those builders are. He lit his house on fire 80 times and it's still there. It's pretty impressive.
Do you think he lit his house
Stanley built it.
Do you think he lit his house on fire 80 times or he just called them 80 times? There's a chance he was just calling to see if they could hang out at some point.
No, because there were 2 times there were real fires.
2 times out of the 80. There were 78 times he was going, hey, so what are you guys doing?
2 times that night, real fire. We don't know the rest of them.
That's fair.
If I had time, tomorrow's show at this time, we'll go through the other 78 911 calls of this guy to see which ones were fires.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Well, if you haven't done it yet, you've got about 15 minutes left in the hour. At 9 o'clock, this word expires for Q101 Fest. Your chance for a trip for 2 to the Minnesota Yacht Club Friday, July 18th. to Sunday, July 20th, a music festival featuring Hozier, Fall Out Boy, Green Day, Sublime 311, and more in Minneapolis. Plus the qualifying prize, Riot Fest tickets. One-day tickets you get to pick from Friday with Blink-182, Weezer on Saturday with Jack White, or Green Day on Sunday. You can see Green Day twice, potentially, and this is outstanding. So text SWEATER, SWEATER, as in Weezer, Sweater Song, 312-591-8300. Text SWEATER if you haven't done it this hour yet. If you have, don't do it. Just wait till 11, 2, and 5 when you'll have other opportunities to check in and qualify for this trip. But SWEATER to 312-591-8300 for a chance at all that. We got music entertainment news coming up. If you're a gamer, huge, monumental breaking news in the gaming world coming up after we play Fits in the Tantrums. But before we move forward, I want to give a shout out. Yesterday I hit the road, and you may remember back, it feels like a while ago now, where we started the Get to the Point pencil drive. It started the conversation just randomly about the kids not using screens at school, but then teachers called up and said, it's Teachers Appreciation Week, of how they need pencils.
Mm-hmm. We assumed, because Brian, you have a young child, and I have no children that I know of, but Kenzie has a 10-year-old. You and I, Brian, assumed that kids no longer use pencils and everything was on a Microsoft or an Apple tablet.
Yeah.
And Kenzie said, no, these kids be writing, and that took us by surprise.
Is that how she said it?
Actually, that is how she said it.
Wait, she said
Kids
these
be writing, okay.
These kids be writing occur. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said.
Got it.
And
That's a direct quote.
I mean, I said it like that for a reason. Come on now.
Yes.
And then all these teachers checked in and said, not only do kids write with pencils occur, but we're actually dealing with a pencil shortage, and it would be really nice if somebody could donate some pencils to our schools.
And you did that, and you donated close to 4,000 pencils through Kenzie making an awesome, easy way to do it and texting in with a delivery. And then also brought some out to our broadcasts at Lizzie McNeil's, at Almost Home for our Cubs opening day and for St. Patty's Day. And I got to tell you.
Coheed and Cambria pop up also.
Also there, yeah. Bringing the pencils out, and we have these pencils. So yesterday, I got in the Q101 vehicle with Tall Paul and hit the street. And I got to say, I had an emotional day yesterday, and I really wanted to share this with the listeners of what you did. And I wish I could have taken everybody with us.
When Brian first set out, before he gets emotional, I have to say, I just imagine him like tripping and dropping all the pencils in the river. Like when he was like loading up.
We lost a few good men out there when we got near the vehicle near the river there.
Was this a more successful trip than when you tried to get Kenzie balloons for her birthday?
Way more successful. Although I did open one of the boxes to count how many. There are these white plain boxes from Amazon, these pencils, and it doesn't say how many are in them. So I had to open one of the boxes to count so I could get the correct count to take to each school.
Okay.
And when I opened one and I pushed a little bit, the bottom opened, and to Kenzie's point, they all dropped out. So I had to. Now, thankfully, I was in our studio. They didn't drop into the Chicago River, and they were delivered properly. But I have to say, going to these schools, I'm going to give shout-outs to the Suter Montessori Magnet School. Bobby there was the one that texted in about needing pencils. Lisa checked in from Dr. Pedro Albiza Campos High School. And then we had a whole slew of teachers. It was Nikki, Garrett, Anastasia, Debbie, Claudio, Dexter, Robert, and Ann from the Aspira, Antonia, Pantoja Alternative High School. And to deliver these pencils, and you think like just pencils, drop them off, go. No, they invited me into the classrooms, talked to the kids, and they were so grateful. And I cannot tell you the feelings I got where I actually texted my wife at one point, and I go, I'm going out to Walmart. I'm buying $1,000 more pencils. I got to come back here and give them more. And they were just appreciative of the hundreds each school got.
100 pencils is a lot of pencils. Well, they got more than 100.
They got close to 400 a school. Mm-hmm. And they were.
We had a lot of schools sign up. Which almost breaks my heart that many schools were like, please. It was unbelievable. That's
what I'm saying is, you know me, I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. Once I get into something, I really almost wanted to sell my car and get pencils. And just figure out a way home. I'll get on the train.
Well, as a station vehicle, you would have sold the station vehicle, pocketed some cash in your Nissan Rogue still.
That's classic Brian.
I know.
But I did it for the people.
I would sell that vehicle in a second and do that.
Exactly. You wouldn't even think about it.
It's very touching, the gratefulness. And I can just tell you right now, today, if you're feeling a little down for whatever reason, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I cannot express in words the joy that giving someone something that is so appreciative makes you feel. I was exhausted. I was starving yesterday in the afternoon, and I left there ready to go make pencils to take back to them. I don't even know how to make a pencil. Get cut down those trees, I assume, start
Brian's
carving them out.
I was starving. He might have eaten in like an hour and a half.
I was, and I didn't stop anywhere to eat, by the way. I waited till I got home.
Wow, very, very big
Yeah,
of you.
how dare you? How dare you come at me from my hunger?
Did you scout possible locations to eat at though on the way there and in the car?
I'm doing that today.
Okay.
Because yesterday was more the city schools, but we're getting out to some of the burbs. You're gonna hit some of them. And
Sorry if you have cheese sauce on your pencils.
yeah, the erasers
Ignore that.
make good wiping of the
They do,
cheese
yeah,
off.
yeah.
But we're gonna keep delivering these, and we'll keep reporting them on socials. We'll put up some videos because really touching stuff. And it is Teachers Appreciation Week. And these teachers, for example, when I got to one of the schools, they were like, oh, my God, they're pre-sharpened, the pencils. Like, oh, wait, I didn't even think you might need sharpeners. And one of the teachers said, yeah, I bought an electric one and bring it into school. That's what these teachers are doing out there for the kids. And it's amazing. And we all need to do more. We all need to do more, and we will do more.
We're getting people asking on the text line, can they still donate pencils? And at this point in time, no, but we're working on something for the start of the next school year, a school supplies drive of sorts that we'll be able to help out then. So for everybody asking, stay tuned. We'll have more info on that soon.
Absolutely. Let's get to music entertainment news. Fits in the Tantrums. Thank you for donating. They're going to great use.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So you have about 5 minutes left for the Fest for Minnesota Yacht Club. Text sweater if you haven't done it. SWEATER to 312-591-8300. Last 5 minutes for that key word. There'll be a different one at 11, 2, and 5. So that'll be for Minnesota Yacht Club and for Riot Fest. In the meantime, music and entertainment news. Well, it happened. The second Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer dropped yesterday, which you can watch at Q101's Facebook page right now. And a detailed look at what to expect from GTA 6's history, which game's still a ways off. Still a ways off on the game. We'll get to that in a second. But Jason and Lucia have always known the deck was stacked against them, Rockstar said in a official description. But when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America. I feel like my music's wrong here. I don't know.
Do you want to do it again, a more dramatic read?
Well, I'll just continue.
This is the plot of
Why are
GTA
you so
6.
upset? You're like, I don't know.
No.
This is the plot of GTA 6. Get the right music and read it like you mean it. Say it with your chest.
Movie trailer voice?
dude,
Or
it's GTA 6.
I know.
Why do you have such like small penis energy right now?
It is
Come on.
weird. It's very unlike you.
I know. You're bragging about nothing.
Is everything
not,
okay?
I'm not sure if I can do the movie trailer voice this late in the show.
What do you mean?
Voice wears out as we go on.
Give it a shot, big guy.
Let's try it here. La 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 la. Let me warm up a little bit.
You know what? Never mind.
Let me warm up.
All right.
Jason and Lucia have always known the deck is stacked against them. But when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America.
Oh, my God. Hit the rap horns. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I always deliver, you know. Okay, back to it. In the middle of a criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida. Forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out.
He's got the
alive.
giggles. He's got the giggles right now.
I don't know what we're talking about now. I'm like super. What is this? A movie?
This is GTA 6. This is GTA,
Oh.
Grand Theft Auto.
Leonidas. Isn't that like the Gladiator? What are we
You're
talking
thinking
about?
of you're thinking of Leonidas.
Oh.
Of 300 and Leonidas, which is a great movie and is on Case's list, by the way, down the road.
I'm sure
movie,
we'll get to
the
it.
movie 300. So in GTA 6, Vice City gets a stunning makeover. The trailer gives us a glimpse of this reimagined version of Miami filled with the detailed environments, vibrant nightlife, and a diverse atmosphere. Kenzie, you would love Miami and GTA Vice City.
Well, I love Miami. I've been
Yeah,
there.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I need to do it on this.
The city seems more alive than ever with an expanded map offering new areas to explore. Players can expect bustling streets, towering skyscrapers, and scenic beaches, all of which play a crucial role in the game's open world experience. And the trailer is sick. Like I said, if you go to Q101's Facebook page, you can watch it there many times over for your delight. Now, last week, Rockstar delayed GTA 6 from fall of this year to May 26th, 2026.
That's right.
Boom. And we talked about in December when the trailer dropped, the first trailer dropped, that they teased the trailer. And then we had to wait for that. Then that trailer came out. Now this trailer 2 came out.
And also, GTA 5 came out, for those that maybe haven't kept up with it, in 2013. It's not like they really stacked these releases. We've been waiting 12 years. Now we're going to have to wait 13 for this.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's so hard. Like, it's the same concept. You're going to be driving around in a car and, like, punching hookers in the face. Like, how are they struggling with the creation of this?
Well,
Is it virtual reality? Do you get to get inside the game and punch the hookers? Like, what's happening?
do you want to be in the game with someone that does that? Is that what you're asking?
I'm saying, is that why it's so hard? Is it like the new updated version of Jumanji where your body disintegrates and goes into the video game, or what's happening?
I think it's a little more involved. But, literally 100,000 people work on this game, whether it's animators, digital tech people, programmers. And then there's movie creators like storyline directors. What this will do, to put it in perspective, is this will make more probably in one day than any movie that comes out that whole year easily combined, all the revenue take. I think it was like $50 billion.
It's basically become the single largest entertainment property there is when you don't factor in sports. I mean, the success of Grand Theft Auto 5, which is still a game that they're adding updates to constantly, people are still playing, it's the biggest thing there is, and it's worth the wait. And right when I thought, they delayed the release of the game last week, and I go, oh, you know what? Maybe I don't care about GTA 6. Then they put out this trailer, and they got me again.
So I went back to GTA 5, the second best-selling video game of all time with 210 million copies shipped. It's the most financially successful entertainment product of all time in the top couple anyway.
Wow.
$8.5 billion in revenue.
Not bad.
No, listen, movies do great. Like Thunderbolts was incredible last week and did like $76 million.
Sinners has done quite well.
Yeah, movies are back. I mean, there's a lot of good ones coming out. Final Destination's Bloodline's on the way. But when you do, in the video game world of that, $8.5 billion just dwarfs everything else. It's insane. And it's good, too.
Now, I have a PS5. I like playing video games. Kenzie, not her thing. Brian, you famously are in recovery, a former Halo addict.
So, yes, and
yeah.
my name is Brian, and I used to spend 8 hours a day playing Halo, and it was really a problem.
When did you jump off? Was it the Xbox or the Xbox 360?
So it was the 360 when my power supply broke.
Did you have the red ring?
Yeah.
Did you have the red ring of death?
The red ring of death came.
Wow.
And even though there were a lot of solutions there, if you went on the internet,
yes. Google.
I decided I needed a break. Now I'm dabbling now back in the gaming to see if I can do it without full addiction kicking in.
Because that's what I was going to ask you, is when you read that trailer and the movie voice that you did, do you get itchy? Do you feel like you have to go out? You said you're an all-or-nothing kind of guy. Do you feel like you have to go out right now to Target and buy an Xbox?
Well, I don't know about you. I'm leaving. So whatever you guys want to do with the rest of the show, I don't care.
Wonderwall. Yeah.
I'm not kidding. My addiction. And by the way, you can find my voice in Saints Row version 1. I am the guy of the guy on the radio when you're driving around the car, and also the guy driving around when you're driving around. I'm the guy on the radio in the car. On Project Gotham Racing 2, when you're driving around Chicago, I'm on the radio there.
But you
Are
never.
those popular video games? It's an honest question. I'm just curious.
So Saints Row was designed to compete against Grand Theft Auto. The first version that I'm in wasn't rated very well, but it's gone on to be. There was multiple versions afterward that were really incredible. Project Gotham Racing was a big game. It was a big game racing through the city and doing things too. Not to the level of Grand Theft Auto. They're not in that world.
Gotham. So was it like a Batman thing?
Project Gotham Racing, because the first one was in New York, and they used Gotham for that, which is supposed to, even though Chicago really is Gotham City. But then it went on. They did several versions, and then I don't remember how many versions they had actually.
But it wasn't like Batman based?
No, just driving around and, like you said, to your point, looking for hookers to do things to. That's a quote from Kenzie.
All these games, they're just driving around looking for hookers. Why are there so many versions?
It's fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you want to jump in? It's not too late.
Guys, how about you just drive around in real life and get hookers?
This is safer.
I'm awfully
Okay.
nervous. I don't know what to say to a hooker.
Also,
You can say whatever you want. They're on the clock.
Give us an example of what you say to a hooker. Just give us on top of your
I
head.
don't know. That's what I'm afraid of. Like, if I was going to approach a hooker, I guess I don't know. I don't know what I would say. Do you ease into it, or you just go like, for $20, what can you do to me?
You're gonna not get a great hooker for 20.
Is 20 cheap?
You try
Is
20.
20 cheap.
You try 20 and then report back tomorrow at this
You
time.
think they're gonna make minimum wage doing something? Are you kidding me?
Okay, tell your living girlfriend that you need to go get a $20 hooker for the show.
It's a tax write-off if I do it for work. It's fine.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. You can start getting your takeaways in 312-591-8300. Something that was memorable on today's show for you. In the meantime, you'll be screwed at the airport starting today if you don't have a real ID. That's the headline.
Fun.
That's the headline. Now, what you don't have to worry about, a lot of people panicking and rushing to sites where there's been hour lines trying to get a real ID. If you're not flying anywhere, don't worry about it. You can get a real ID next week, in a month, even in a year if you're not going anywhere. It'd be nice to get on a plane, go somewhere now and then, but if you're not, don't worry about it. Chicago's pretty awesome. Summer's starting. Why leave? So if you're not going anywhere, don't worry about it. The TSA says you don't have to have a real ID. They're starting to check today, though. So if you are flying somewhere, be prepared for a 3-hour delay if you don't have a passport or a real ID. Mm-hmm. A lot of people asking questions. Why? Well, the Real ID Act of 2005, which sounds terrifying. So they give us 20 years. Finally got it going. And the Real ID is your identity and lawful presence in the United States for certain purposes, which is why it exists and why it's going forward. If you have one, you just look for that gold star in the upper right corner of your ID.
You'll know because you needed extra stuff to get it. So if you just went to you need everything that's ever had your name on it to get one.
That's right. That's right. It sucks
Be
when you...
super prepared.
Yeah, take more than you think you should take if you're going to do it.
17 pieces of mail because most of them don't count, apparently. You're Social Security cards, passports, old IDs. Be ready.
Yeah, debt collection mail doesn't count if someone's coming
Nothing
after
counts.
you.
Somebody literally said, they go, my letter from the DMV didn't count. And I'm like, how is that possible?
That's not cool.
From you guys.
Publishers Clearinghouse doesn't count if they still have those in the mail. My Costco coupon membership, or at least letting me know what's on sale this month. I get that little flyer in the mail. That doesn't count. It's got to be like a ComEd, gas bill, whatever. Now, things that will count for a Real ID substitute at the airport today, if you don't have one, a Canadian driver's license.
Which, I have a question. I thought this whole hullabaloo, this whole thing was to prove that we're American citizens.
Yeah, but if you have a Canadian driver's license, you just go hey, I'm from Canada, eh?
What accent was that? You
What,
sound
do you
like
need
the
a
Fonz.
passport? Don't you need a passport with Canada?
No, if you have
Like
a Canadian driver's license, you're okay without a passport. We need Americans. We need a passport or the Real ID.
Oh, were their normal driver's license already extensive Real IDs maybe?
I just figure they don't want to upset Canadians, so just whatever, get on the plane.
They'll be the 51st state eventually.
When's the last Canadian terrorist you heard about?
I don't want to do that, Google.
I don't want to do this game. I don't like this
That's
game.
not a fun game. Pin the tail on the donkey. That's a fun game. When's the last Canadian terrorist? Not a fun game.
Well, I'm going to go through there. I'm going to Google it. If you guys don't want to have any fun like me, fine.
I feel like we should back off. We don't know what's going to come up.
Tell me something else about the Real ID, Brian.
Well, again, if you're a Chicagoan, just take a U.S. passport and you'll be fine. But if you don't have the Real ID, it's going to be a long wait. I don't know if they take you to some pit with tigers in it and spikes and throw you in there while you wait to see if you
You think
survive.
maybe you just have to fight to the death. Only one person without a Real ID gets on the plane.
Think about this for a second. Wouldn't it be amazing if at O'Hare, let's say you don't have the Real ID, and they start taking you away, and you go in, and there's some kind of Coliseum gladiator pit inside O'Hare somewhere with tigers and other gladiators you got to fight to get on the plane?
Well, if there was ever a time for a real-life Scarlac pit, which is a Star Wars thing, this would be the time to do it.
Right.
Oh my God, Natalie Portman was in that, right?
She was. Good
Okay.
job,
That's
Kenzie.
the only scene that I've seen. Sorry, because it was, I don't know how else to word it, but because it was always on at Best Buy when we were trying to buy a TV one time. This kept playing
And
it.
she's in that all-white outfit. Yes, good stuff.
And they're all on the poles. I don't know who else is there.
There's other
But there's other
Jedis there.
people.
There's other people there. You're right.
Yeah, there's a lot of other people. There's a whole thing. In fact, that scene has a lot of people in
That's
it.
a
and
whole thing.
big
I
thing.
meant somebody else was tied to a pole too. I just don't remember who it was.
A few
Correct.
people. Yeah, there are a few in there.
That's what it's like if you don't have a Real ID at O'Hare. That's what it's going to look like.
So good luck.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Your takeaways from today's show, 312-591-8300. Text in something that was memorable to you on today's show with Brian and Kenzie and Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Lauren on the way in. Remember, at 11 and 2, more chances at Q101 Fest for the Minnesota Yacht Club and Riot Fest tickets. So she'll have the keyword for those. And then Brian Phillips at 5 will have another chance. And we'll have another chance tomorrow at 8. So be with us there. And 8 and 9, really, tomorrow. So make sure you're here for that. Takeaways from today's show. 312-591-8300. Stuff that was memorable to you on today's show. Case, what do you got?
I like this one from Kelly that just came in that says, Brian could never be a fireman because he burns his hand doing the dishes. In quotations, ouch, ouch, ouch.
You never hear firefighters say ouch.
That's true. You never do.
Yeah, it's one of the tests. Burn you and see if you say ouch. Kenzie, what do you got?
Lucas's takeaway, Brian's giving small penis energy today.
Well, that's unfortunate. I don't know about that, but come over here and check.
Come over here and check.
Not you or Kenzie, I mean just him.
Wow,
Oh,
I'm
I
putting
guess-
that in my folder for when I want to raise.
No, Kenzie, it's fine. He was talking to the listener when he said, come over here and check.
Yeah.
That's better.
Listeners
Case,
can't
if
go
you
to
could send me this audio when you get off, that'd be
Hey.
fantastic.
listeners can't go to HR.
They can go to the police.
Finally, a 2 here. I got to make good for Jim, who said, and I said this 2 hours ago, I'd say happy birthday to his kid, and I didn't. Sorry, Jim. So, Mikey, happy birthday. Happy 5th birthday, buddy. But he's probably at school now or summer preschool. He missed out. I'm sorry, Jim. Happy birthday, Mikey. And then finally, the takeaway from Marco. My takeaway, Marco 219. Hookers are tax write-offs as long as they're for work.
That was good following the 5th birthday
Yeah.
shout out. Fantastic.
Anyways, happy 5th birthday, Mikey. Thank you so much for listening. We greatly appreciate it.
Hey, listen.
Now back to these hookers.
My 5th birthday party was pretty
My 5th-year-old.
fun. Pretty fun. You celebrate, how are you out with balloons and cake?
Me, I'm going hookers.
All right, Case, what's on the podcast?
Jeremy Piven, ever heard of him? Yeah, Brian and Kenzie and myself had a delightful conversation with Jeremy Piven this morning, talking about Entourage, talking about Larry Sanders Show, talking about his stand-up upcoming at the Vic Theater. That is now on the Brian and Kenzie podcast. Also, Kenzie is going to get her tires slashed today. By the way, if they're slashed already, just let us know. Brian can drive you home. And a ton of other fun stuff on the Brian and Kenzie podcast.
Miss a moment, miss a lot. It's all there for you. However you want to listen to it, whenever you want to listen to it.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.